Hello, everybody. This is Howard, the Teaser King, coming to you with Week 14 of the NFL. What can I say? Last week, 21-1, 8-1 in the pros, 13 and 0 in college, and it was probably the easiest college week I've ever had. I mean, it was like just take Nebraska as a home dog against Iowa. Take Washington over Washington State. They always beat them. Ohio State was my lock. Gave it to you on the video, plus Ohio State over. I mean, over 43, 44. Are you kidding me? I mean, but that's the way the week goes. And then some weeks you make the same bet with the same plays, and then they lose. And you scratch your head going, why did I make that play? And it's just very obvious. It's a good play, but sometimes it doesn't win. Then that's why I bring in poker. Sometimes you get pocket aces and you lose, but what are you supposed to do? You got to play them. So anyway, here's the Teaser King. The last, I don't know, 6-7 weeks in the pros. 6-1, 5-1, 8-1, 6-2, 3-2 because there was nothing to play, and I still savaged out with Seattle as the road dog to Philly, and 8-1 last week. So one, not even a bad week. 3-2. There just wasn't anything to play. Nothing I was confident with. This week looks strong. I should have at least one lock going, as I usually can find something to lock. The lines have really moved. I don't know what's causing these strong line movements. It doesn't make sense. This is Wednesday, and here's I have the Rams 3-point favorites. It opens Seattle -2.5. Okay, I'll take the Rams. I want the dog in the series, and now I look and it's even, and I'm like, okay, who's betting this much to move the line 2.5 points? So I'm praying that the Rams go favorite 3, and then I'll bet Seattle. You take the dog over 8, whoever the dog is. This is a dog series. This isn't my play. It's just something that's happening. So I have a couple of interesting ones, but I'm going to get to the one that I feel strong about. I feel strong about 3 or 4 of them. But let's go with the New Orleans-San Francisco game. Right now, I got the line of New Orleans is laying 2.5 and 3, over under a 44. So, as I teach, what you do normally is you look at the game without a point spread. So Frisco's playing New Orleans. Who do you think's going to win? And then, what do you think the point spread should be? So my analysis, without a spread, I go, New Orleans at home -3. Should be the line. And I like the dog in the game. I think it's a dead even game, and I'm going to take the points and take the dog. Frisco played well at Baltimore. Frisco's starting to prove that win at the Rams was real. They shut down Green Bay. So they've had 2 very strong, and one on the road at LA and one at home against Green Bay. You shut out Aaron Rodgers, you're telling me something. New Orleans hasn't been the same since Drew Brees has come back. They've been struggling a lot. They had that loss to Atlanta, and they just don't look the same because they're throwing the ball more with Brees. With Bridgewater, it was more like, we don't trust him, let's just run the ball and we'll play shutdown defense, which is what they did. But now you have Drew Brees back, so they're throwing the ball more, and it's not the same. They're struggling for some reason. I don't know why. So let's look at the standings. Green Bay 9-3, Minnesota 8-4. They're vying for the playoffs. One should win the division, and one should win the wild card. You got Dallas and Philly at 6-6, 5-7. They both stink. You got New Orleans at 10-2, and that's it there. And you got Seattle and the Rams at 10-2. There's Seattle and the 49ers at 10-2, and the Rams at 7-5. Now the Rams don't really have a hope to win the division because I believe Frisco has to go to Seattle and play. That means one of them goes to 11-2. The best the Rams can do is finish 11-5. So they have to win out. The loser of that game has to lose out. That just ain't going to happen. But then we get into New Orleans is 10-2. So when we look at for number one seed, you've basically got Green Bay, then New Orleans 10-2, Seattle 10-2, and the Niners 10-2. And this will be very interesting here. Seattle beat the Niners heads up. So what's happening here is this is a critical game for both teams, more for Frisco because of Seattle. They're kind of blocking the way. So Frisco's going to give a good game. Can they though? Are they that good? Are they really 10-2? But they played a weak schedule. Well, that's what I thought. They killed the Rams. They killed Carolina, who's a decent team. They killed Green Bay, and then they played Baltimore real tough. Should have beat them, but they keep going for the fake. I don't understand teams playing Lamar Jackson. The first thing you do when you face a running back like that is get into the backfield and don't let him put his speed on. And so what I'm surprised at is on these read options where he's reading the end and he's faking the ball to the running back and then running around the outside. Why doesn't the defensive end just go right after Jackson and tackle him every time? Perfectly legal if you thought he had the ball, and let him hand off to the running back. Who cares about him? He's not going to do anything, especially running up the middle. What's he going to gain, 2-3 yards? But Jackson around the end is faster, but he's really not. It's just they don't have the right personnel out there. They need more linebackers like San Diego did. And I know I saw on the Fox pregame show they're trying to explain that it wouldn't work because of the running backs, and I'm like, these guys are a bunch of idiots. I thought Howie Long and Jimmy Johnson were smart, and after watching them, I think they're a bunch of idiots. It's exactly what you do. You need more speed out there. You need, as Belichick always says, the art of war, you take the strength away. Well, the strength's Jackson, not the running back. Jackson can't throw the ball. They don't have receivers. So you want to beat Baltimore, you take Jackson away. How do you do that? You have blitz safeties from the ends, and when he fakes that ball into the line and plays that little college option game, you've got the speed to keep him in and go right after him. That's all I would do. I'd go right after him and tackle him every time you did that. You're going to have to pass to beat me. You can't do it. And this little running attack will put the rest of the guys on the fullback. And, he's from Alabama. He'll fumble a lot anyway, so that's, useless. But that's how you have to do there. So I was a little surprised 49ers didn't stay home on the outside. Why the end kept cracking down. Terrible coaching by 49ers to have the end go after the running back if you're not going to have anybody out there for Jackson. But if the end goes after Jackson, let him hand the ball off. You got 9 guys in the line right there. I mean, it's not like he's going to go anywhere, especially if he's just reading the end. I mean, I'm watching Oklahoma football here, but nobody knows how to defend it. You got the dumbest defensive coordinators in the world. It's so obvious. San Diego did it. That's it. Just do what they did. Anyway, enough of Baltimore. So, back on the track to Frisco now. Let's look at the numbers. All right, so this year, Frisco, 11-1 in a teaser, 6-6 against, 4-0 as a road dog, 2-0 as a road favorite, 6-0 on the road, 1-3 against as a road dog. So they're going on the road, they're winning. Let's look at New Orleans, 3-2 as a home favorite, and they're kind of screwed up because of Brees' injury. 4-1 against, so they're not playing very well at home. Atlanta beat them at home. Let's go back to 2018 and 2019. The 49ers 9-2 on the road as a road dog, 6-5 against. The Rams, New Orleans 10-4 at home as a favorite, 11-3 against. So you have the New Orleans who Doesn't necessarily blow out, but I would imagine they tend to be high priced. So they're laying 9, 10 points, winning by 3 or 4 is what this looks like. Pardon me. I'm starting to get that hacking cough for the 19th time. Let's go back to 2017. Frisco, 15-3 as a road dog, 83% since 2017. 34-10 overall, 77. So it's basically Shanahan's, basically 77%. 15-3 as a road dog. So they travel well and they don't like being the dog. New Orleans, 18-4, 82%. 39-9, 81%. So New Orleans is mighty rough to bet on. They cover a lot. And New Orleans against is 17-5 or 77%. So New Orleans is very strong at home as a favorite. San Francisco is very strong on the road. Let's go into the other numbers. San Francisco, an A team, scored 29 a game, gives up 15 a game, a margin of plus 14. That's an A. An A is a good team that can score and has a good defense. Kansas City is not an A team because they score 29, but they give up 22. They give up too many points, so they're more of an over team. So that's how you differentiate a from a B or an O. Dallas is a B team. They score 26. They give up 20. But they don't score enough to be an A team. But they do have more points, more offense than defense. It's still a positive. Excuse me. So Frisco, we see 29-15. So they're going to be in the game. They can score and they play a good defense. And I got Richard Sherman this week. And against is New Orleans. They only score 25 a game. A lot of that's Teddy Bridgewater just handing the ball off most of the time. And their defense, 21 a game. But it was much lower. They're only a positive 4. They're a B team. So their defense, San Francisco's defense is 6 points better. Their offense is 4 points better. So they're 10 points better than New Orleans. Now, you use this to get a feel of the game, but you really can't say, oh, then let's take them because they're 10 points better. That, a lot of that scheduling and stuff like that. But I find New Orleans is better as the dog. They'll cover, and they're a great dog. But in this situation, I feel the game's even. Both teams are 10-2. Both teams need the game. It's theoretically a playoff game. Yes, San Francisco played at Baltimore last week, so they had to fly East Coast, West Coast, now back to New Orleans, which is central. So it's not too bad. But still, they're a little bit tired, I would imagine, but not too bad. They're pros. They get a week. So now, can you go over-under? It's really hard to go over-under with these teams. Frisco with the strong defense, look what they did to Green Bay. Look what they did to the Rams. Now, the Rams don't have a quarterback, but Green Bay does. And to shut him out, and now you're playing Drew Brees, it's the same style of quarterback. It's the same style of offense. Yeah, they have Kamara, but Green Bay's got a little bit of running now. So you're just looking at the strong passer, and the Niners just killed him. They killed Rodgers. So you can't really play the game over, and you can't really play the game under because you don't know how the game's going to flow. Overs are created by where the turnovers happen, punt returns, pick sixes, strip sacks. Unders happen when the turnovers are in the other, when you're driving to score and you turn it over, and there's no block punts, there's block field goals, holding penalties on a touchdown causes a field goal. You really, on this game, it's very hard. Kansas City, yeah, you can pretty much go over a lot, especially if they're playing a good team. That's what you go over. The Bears you go under with because they can't score against a high school team. But this is a time where you're looking at 44, and I honestly don't know. I mean, over 38 you would think would get there with Drew Brees and Frisco's offense. Under 50, you're really asking for it because that's really, it's 28-24 goes over 50. and would be very doable with these teams. You just don't know which way the game is. If you have to play this, I would play over 38 just because it's such a low number that I would think you would have enough scoring. 21-17's 38, and I can't imagine you're holding New Orleans under 20, and then the Niners should get in the 20s. So I think it's definitely a 40-point ball game. 44 go over 38. However, my pick here is take the Niners in the 9 or 8.5, just based on the fact that they have the strong defense. The way you bet dogs, you have to have a strong defense. Period. If you don't, you can't bet dogs. Strong defense. Frisco's got that. 15 a game. Now they played Carolina. They played the Rams. They played Seattle. They played Baltimore. Nobody blew them out. They're not terrible. Is Garoppolo a good quarterback? Well, let's see. Let's go to the quarterbacks. I like to cover all bases here. So let's look at Frisco. Garoppolo. 21 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Not too bad. A little bit high in the interceptions. Goes for 240 a game. So, and he's throwing a lot of safe passes into the tight end. That tight end they got looks pretty good. So, you have a good passing attack. Not too many interceptions. We go to Drew Brees. Now, he's only played in 7 games, and one of them he got hurt, so really he's played in 6. He throws for 250 a game, 12 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, so he still keeps the ball safe with the 4 touchdowns. 12 for 6 games is not bad. That's 2 a game. And Garoppolo in 12 games has 21, doesn't even have 2 a game. So definitely, I mean, you can't kid yourself. Breeze is the better quarterback, absolutely. But Garoppolo's not going to kill you. Let's see if anybody has some running with this. Frisco's got Matt Breida. He's 60 yards a game. Nothing to write home about. Kamara. He's played in 10 games. He averages 58 yards a game. So, it's NFL running now, which is, they're so screwed up, this league, with these metrics and crap like that. They're so quick to do it. Here's this Moser who played last week for Frisco, and he's 44 yards a game. This metrics is... You wonder why all the coaches are getting fired? Gee, we're down 14, we score a touchdown, let's go for 2. What are you, an idiot? You kick the extra point because it's a 95% thing. Going for 2 is maybe 30 or 40%, especially when the game's on the line going for 2 versus it's 20-10 and I score, now it's 26-10 and I want to go for 2. That's a whole different going for 2 than it's 17-10 and I score, now it's 17-16, I want to go for 2 in the win. That's probably a 5% play. Because when the defense really wants to stop you and it's for the game, you're not getting the 2-point conversion. So these coaches are down 14 instead of getting down 7 and then kicking the extra point and going to overtime. You play to win. You don't play. You've got to play the percentages. You can't go for 2 like it's just a simple running play and you're going to pick it up. And it's not going to happen. When you really need it, it's maybe 10%. Maybe 15% at the most. You're not. It's maybe 2 and 10. You're gonna get the 2-pointer when you need it. And the extra point. I mean, these kickers are so bad. What should be a 98% kick is probably 90%. Still, I would trust my kicker to make the extra point and get the money than go for 2. And most of the time, I'm not going to get it. And then if I don't get it and I'm down 8, now what do? I score a touchdown. Now on my very low percentage play, I got to do it again because I'm too stupid to kick the extra point. So instead of kicking extra point, tie, I go for 2 and miss, and now I got to go for 2 to tie, which I'm not going to get either of the go for 2s. So that's the problem. And if you do get it, like I said, it's 2 and 10. The next thing is these coaches going for it on fourth down at their own 20 and 30-yard line. They're out of their minds. You don't go for it on fourth and anything. If you can't get 10 yards in 3 plays, you're not going for it on fourth down. Inside your own 20 or 30-yard line? Are you kidding me? All right, maybe there's a minute left in the game. You're down 7. I get it, but not in the third quarter. Somebody did that last week. I almost threw up. It's like the second or third quarter. They're at their own 25. They're going for it on 4th and 2. And I'm like, I don't understand this game. This is not a wise move. And then you read these coaches getting fired. Well, yeah, when you coach like an idiot, well, it's the metrics that are making them do it because it says to throw a short pass. And it's, what do you mean? It says based on what? What are you basing your information on? That you should go for 2 and you should go for 4th down and you should throw short passes instead of running. You have to run the ball to rest your defense. It's not an option if you want to win and have a good defense. So it's very simple. That's what you do. These metrics, do they have all the variables? I'm talking to one of my friends and he wants to do all these mathematical formulas on picking games, and I go, throw that out. You can't do that. There's too many variables that need to be, like here. San Francisco is playing New Orleans. It's a playoff game. You can't use the same metrics as if you're playing Cincinnati, Cleveland this week, where they don't need the game. So I mean, it's a joke. I mean, it's good to use statistics if they're meaningful and add value, but they don't. There is no formula to it. It's art. It's not science. I give you my trends. I give you San Francisco's 10-1 as a road dog. Doesn't mean anything. It's still, do they have the defense? Do they have the quarterback? Can they do it? I always give you San Diego as a road dog. If Phillip Rivers is hurt and Antonio Gates are hurt, I'm not playing it. But the numbers are there. Yeah, but without Rivers and Gates, forget about it. So, anyway, I noticed, I was telling my friends, I noticed the same thing. Jacksonville should be a 3-point favorite over San Diego. But they know San Diego, thanks to me, is a good road dog. So they, instead of having Jacksonville favored, are having San Diego favored because they know it's a lock. If San Diego is a road dog, there would be a lock. And the same thing with Seattle, very strong road dog. So what do? They make Seattle a 2-point favorite, so they won't be a road dog. I mean, it's insane. And now all the betting has made the game even, and I'm sure the LA money will come in. We're going to bet Seattle +8, but we're going to have to wait till either Saturday night or Sunday to do it. When you buy from me, you're getting live picks. You're not getting this bullshit handicapper who on Thursday says, take this team. Well, what happens if there's an injury Friday night? Or somebody plays that you weren't expecting? Or one team wins and that forces the other team to win. I'm giving you that, like, Saturday, I'm putting down picks Friday night, Saturday. I'm putting picks down Sunday, Sunday morning. Games kick off at 2 o'clock. I'll put a pick out for 4:30 or the night game. I try not to wait that late, but for the night game, I'll put it out at 2 o'clock going, okay, I like the night game. I mean, you're getting expert picks. This is as if you're with me at the casino, these picks, okay? This is me walking up to the cage making the bet. That's what I'm giving you, not I'll just throw out a game on Thursday and there you go. And I'm giving you multiple games and you can see the results. I mean, I go 21-1, which is ironic because I gave you the story last week on my college video how I went, I think it was 22-1 on the rivalry week. And it was, I think most of it was college. I think it was like 21 out of 22 or 22 out of 23 college picks. And it was really college teasers. So I had teams and multiple teasers. And then I go 21-1 last week. It was just unbelievable. Everything was winning. It was, and then I kind of stayed away from a couple of trouble games. I didn't go with Philly. I didn't go with Carolina. I just didn't trust them because they're not good. They can't lay 10 if they're not good. Teams have to be able to score a lot to lay 10. So I stayed away from the right teams, and I had the other perfectly. So, and it all started Thanksgiving with the easy two. Anyway, that's the difference with me. I don't think most people get that from me. I don't think they understand. We're at Caesar's Palace, and we're making bets. That's what you have with me. These are the bets I'm placing at Caesar's, and people would pay a lot of money to see my picks in line. And it's not, and the guy behind the counter is writing down, Teaserking picked this. And that's the difference. I'm not just selling a pick and I don't care and you don't know if I bet it or not. You can see I'm betting it here. I showed you my Ohio State slip where I'm getting 3.5 that I bet July 4th. That one, there's another money on the side I didn't even count on. It was July. I was like, okay, that bet's made. I'd love to talk to that sports book guy who said, when I said you got the wrong team favored, looked at me like, who the hell are you? You don't know anything. Yeah, well, I know something because I got the money there. Anyway, www.teaserking.com. I'll have the bowl special after this week. So this week's the college. Should be the first round of the playoffs, but they're not intelligent enough to do that. They can't find a way to put Alabama in, so, what are they going to do? And yeah, that was one of my picks last week was Auburn. So they had, so then the bowls will come out, all 50 of them, and I'll have a bowl special. Usually it's like $100 and you get 4 weeks of the bowls. So you get all the bowls that are worth picking, and through the playoff, playoff with 4 teams, which is a joke. Can you imagine the NFL with 4 teams having a playoff? So anyway, so you'll have all of that through the playoffs. So that's, a good 4 weeks plus the playoffs. It's really a good 5 weeks, a lot of games. So that would be like $100 for everything, yeah, if you like that. So I usually do that this time of year for the bowls. The pros, we still got a few weeks left. Same thing, like $100 for the NFL playoffs. You get all 4 rounds for the 100. So that'll be coming. Anyway, I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I did. And Christmas a few weeks away, so let's stock up. And Teaserking is now a white wizard. I don't know what. I think gold would come after that. That'll. If I do this again, it's a gold wizard. If I can do another 20-1. But anyway, I can't find that many games this week because there's only a few college ones. But anyway, take the Niners. Take the 8.5 or 9. You've got to play this game. I got to take the dog over 7. That's how you got to play the game. No matter who the dog is. And you can't, you just look at it going, is this game even? And I think it is. I think the Niners have proven that, okay, they could use Joe Montana, but they're basically pretty much a solid team. And New Orleans is not proving, their defense went away for some reason. So New Orleans is not the solid team. They're good. They're very good. But I can't see New Orleans blowing out Frisco here. I can see Frisco winning the game. And I can see it coming down to a field goal at the end. Any scenario, getting 8.5, 9 points, you got a W. And that's what it's all about. So anyway, www.teaserking.com. Take the 49ers.